Welcome to the world debut of the 5th generation Freightliner Cascadia semi-truck. Why is this important? Well, the Cascadia just happens to be the most popular and the best-selling semi-truck in the country, which means it's the backbone of our economy, really. So when you order your packages on your favorite online site, it's very likely that it's being shipped on one of these trucks. And it's an all-new generation for 2026 model year. So in this video, I'm gonna show you everything that's changed. We're gonna take it for a test drive and figure out how it's better. Let's do it. All right, so there's some traffic coming up and we're pretending like we're not paying attention.
That's right, we're about 30 miles per hour.
A lot of the times when a brand new semi-truck makes its world debut, the changes are so minute you can probably not even notice them. But this is not the case here. A lot of the changes are up here in the front, and the reason for all of those changes is really aerodynamics. And I'll show you all of the little elements here that's changed. And the reason behind aerodynamics is, of course, efficiency and, of course, profitability, because these are working machines. They're meant to move freight, and you want to do it in the most efficient and cost-effective way possible. So they redesigned the entire hood. Freightliner tells me the height of the hood and the slope of the hood is about the same, but they have new aerodynamic elements kind of directing air over the cab and towards those little winglets on the A-pillar of the cab, and I'll tell you about the winglets a little bit later. The grille here is redesigned, so this is a little bit more stylistic. This has optional silver inserts here, but the size of the kind of the opening and the radiator is about the same as it was before because it needs to do as much cooling as it did before. They're calling this the 5th generation of the truck. Really, Cascadia came out in 2007 as a 2008 model, and now this truck is coming out for the 2026 model year, and it will be built next year. I'll tell you about that in a second. So now the lower section of the bumper is new, but they kept the split design, so you can see this line down the very center of it. Why do you split this? Because of cost effectiveness. So if you have some damage here, you can just replace one side of this bumper, not the entire thing. So it's a little bit cheaper to do. And then it has this lower skirt here in the front. And they tell me this is easily removable. So you can kind of separate this and put it back together very easily. And they tell me they tested this a lot, running over curbs, because this is what you probably think. This is only about, 5 fingers high off the ground, and it's very important for efficiency and aerodynamics. But what if you hit something and it's kind of designed to bend a little bit and take some hits? It's not a skid plate, but it's designed to take certain hits. Now it also has the side curtain, so you can kind of see this opening, and if I put my hand behind it, maybe you can even see like my hand, so you can kind of see the air curtain go through the bumper. And we've seen this on other pickup trucks and other vehicles, and it's quite effective. It kind of directs the air around the front wheel, and also acts as a little bit of a cooling for the brakes.
All right, we're ready to roll. So our first demonstration here, we talked about the side radars. First of all, that side radar integrated into the front headlight housing.
Yeah.
And there's also another side radar right as you climbed up by the passenger step there on either side. But on the passenger side, we have active side guard assist.
I see a pedestrian.
That's right.
Is that your friend?
So we've got Brent up there, who's our moving pedestrian for the day. So imagine we're in a lot, or we're in a slow speed maneuvering, or maybe even an urban environment where there's a crosswalk or someone beside us. So not only we have warnings, but active braking on moving pedestrians.
So you did not touch the brake?
Yeah, so that was all on its own. You can see in the pop-up here, active side guard braking finished. So in those situations where a driver potentially can't see or doesn't see a moving pedestrian or bicyclist along the length of the tractor, active side guard assist is able to not only warn, but actively apply brakes.
Including the trailer?
For active side guard assist on pedestrians and bicyclists, it's really just the length of the tractor
Of the tractor itself. Okay.
For stationary objects and or for just warnings, it really does go back all the way back to the length of the trailer.
Okay.
But the active braking piece is really just the length of the tractor there.
Are you controlling the engine brake feature manually then?
Yeah, so engine brake lever on the DT12 is the same on the 5th generation Cascadia as previous generations. So just position 1, 2, and 3 for engine braking. But the 5th generation Cascadia also has some really cool integration, what we call endurance braking, where it can actually blend in some engine braking with service brake application as well too.
Automatically?
Automatically, yeah. So in situations, it really helps preserve the life of your brakes and apply some of that additional braking power automatically by blending in engine brakes with the service brake. And okay, so our next demonstration, we're going to talk about Detroit Assurance with Active Brake Assist 6. It's using not just the forward-facing radar, but the forward-facing camera and the 2 side guard radars integrated into the headlights there. To identify multiple different objects in front of us, and really part of the big benefits of the new system is collision mitigation in scenarios that we haven't been able to before, and one of them being active brake assist in a curve, which is what we'll demonstrate up here. We have a car target in the curve up here, and when we get around the corner you'll be able to see it. I'll just pretend like I'm a distracted driver. And the warning is really the same as previous generation systems, and that's our primary concern, or the goal of the system is we want the driver to take back control of that scenario, right? Providing that optical and audible feedback to the driver through a warning. But then if the driver isn't able to take back control of the vehicle, or if they can't do it quickly enough, that's when we'll get into our partial braking sequence and a full braking sequence to mitigate that situation as best as we can.
And before, the system was available for kind of straight highway, right?
Yeah, it was
And
designed,
now it's more difficult because it's actually curved.
Yeah, the previous system was designed for straight collision mitigation, front to rear end collision mitigation is what it's designed for.
All right, so there's some traffic coming up, and we're pretending like we're not paying attention.
That's right, we're about 30 miles per hour. Okay, so brings the vehicle to a full stop.
And there is space between us and the vehicle and the car ahead of us.
Yeah, that's right. So it's collision mitigation scenario in a curve with Active Brake Assist 6. Using all of that sensor fusion data to try and identify multiple different objects, classify them correctly, and hopefully mitigate the scenario best as we can.
And if we were pulling a trailer, let's say a gross combined weight, the system would work as well.
Yeah.
Right?
System.
It'll be using full braking capability of the entire tractor and trailer, right?
Yeah, system designed for a loaded trailer, 80,000 pounds gross combination weight.
Yeah. Of course, the wheels, the chassis, the brake system, as far as the rotor and the pads and all that stuff, it has kind of a disc brake right there. You can see it in the hole. This didn't change. In fact, the entire length of the truck didn't change. The chassis, the frame rails did not change because they really didn't need to be changed. This truck has been working, like I said, in various iterations since 2007. And it is the most popular truck currently on sale in the United States. But let's get back to the changes. So the hood changed. With it, changed the headlamps. This is quite important. First of all, it's a new design. Let me turn this on actually. While you're looking at the headlamp, let me power up just the lights. So that's the running light lamp, so you can kind of see this LED. Let me turn on the headlamp. There. So Freightliner tells me that this lamp is now about 30% more effective, which means it has slightly wider light pattern, slightly longer light pattern down the highway. And also it has these heating elements you can kind of see throughout this light to melt ice or to defog the lamp automatically. You don't have to select that at all. So the driver is not worried about ice building up here or maybe fog building up here in a very humid climate. So that's very, very cool. It's also supposed to be pretty durable. This is pretty durable glass, and it's built into the hood area, and below it are additional radar systems. So there's a radar here also on the driver's side, and there's one on the passenger side as well. So the entire hood has been redesigned, and there's a new style element right here. Now, also this is new. This little side curtain kind of finishes where the bumper started and where this fairing ends. So this is a little bit more improvement. And they say overall, if you look the entire cab, the entire front end of this truck, they improved air efficiency by 1.9%, which sounds small, but if it translates into fuel efficiencies over a year or a decade of usage, then it's a big deal. It becomes a big deal. Now, what about powertrain? Let me pop the hood. So there's two little latches, one on each side. And this is, like I said, this is one piece. So you should be able to just pop this open like this. And this truck's been running all day, so it's very warm, very, very hot. And you can see here there's a safety latch. So once this is open fully, it won't close on you in the wind or something like that by mistake. As you can see, giant engine. This is the DD15. This is the big boy Detroit diesel, 15 liter, straight six. The power range is, I think, about 550 horsepower and about 2,000, just over about 2,000 pound-feet of torque is the maximum power output of this big boy with a giant turbocharger you can see here. And the big thing about semi-trucks is ease of maintenance. So you could see windshield washer fluid here, fuse box over there, some electrical components. You've got a positive terminal here. You got a filter here. You got pipes and clamps. And of course, this is also part of your pre-trip inspection. If you're a semi-truck driver, you would be checking all of these things for damage. And if we go on the other side of the engine, you could see, once again, all the fluids are easy to read. Filters, fluids, and really easy to check. Steering components, steering box, everything like that. Shocks, airbags, axle, springs, and of course here the air cleaner at the very top. So the powertrain didn't change. So if you're expecting, I don't know, a hybrid system or something else fancy, that's not the case here. You can still get DD13, so a smaller diesel from Detroit Diesel. Then also Cummins options. In 2026, they'll also have a Cummins 15N. The N stands for natural gas. So there'll be more options. For example, natural gas burning long haul trucks, because natural gas is sometimes used like on short haul trips or like buses or school buses, but it will also be available for long haul trucks in Freightliner in just a few months, maybe a year or so. Okay, let me close this. I've moved the latch. Very easy, even a dummy like me can do it, and it doesn't take a lot of muscle power. And that's the whole theme here. This needs to be easy for the driver. Now, mirrors. These mirrors didn't change, and also a lot of the cab didn't change, but this did. This A-pillar, I call it a little wing. So that's my word for it. But it was initially here on the previous generation of the truck, slightly smaller, and it prevents from water or dirt from hitting the mirror. So that was one of its designs. Now the design is, it's also aerodynamic device. So it helps air go by. That's why they made it a little bit different shape, enlarged it. So it's also part of aerodynamics on this truck.
So we're going to go around these bends. We're going to show you some speed and curve assist here. And then you will be able to see it in the dash as well. So basically what we're doing is trying to keep you in cruise control with this curve assist. We're going to tell you what the speed we're going to get you to and how many yards until we get there. So I'd say 40 is probably comfortable. We kind of pick up on this late the way we have it mapped. So
I set it at 40 now.
Yeah, that's good. You're good. So we'll probably get it right when we start to get into this bend. So it's telling you your target speed and your yards till you get there.
Okay.
We're going to hang a left through the tunnel again.
How does it calculate the target speed? Or how does it do that?
It knows the curvature of the road.
Okay.
So it knows what speed is safe to go around at. There you go. So target speed 36.
And it's giving me that indication.
How long? So that's telling the driver like, hey, we'll do it for you, but if you want to adjust your speed, go ahead and do that. You got 100 yards or however many yards it is.
So a semi-truck is not just a vehicle. It's not just an office. It's also a home for the driver usually, especially a sleeper cab like this. It's got lower bed, upper bed, bunks, tables, fridge. It can have a microwave. It's a house. And it has to be comfortable. So first of all, the seats, I don't have a lot of it to compare against. I haven't spent a lot of time in the previous Cascadia, but I think this is pretty comfy. The steering column is very adjustable. You could pull it out, you can retract it, you can go up and down. So you can really get super, super comfortable because you're spending a lot of time in this truck. The key is by my left knee, so still same position. So I can turn it to accessory mode, and then I can also start the engine. There, and get comfortable. Now this has some also some digital screens. One of the screens that was just up there is DT12. So this does have, you can see this transmission stock here, 12-speed automated manual transmission. And this is also how you control engine braking, basically an exhaust brake. I'm using my air quotes. Depends on the design of it, but it's really to help you slow down. But here you can see my mirrors, my mirror screens. Once again, this is optional, and the trucks will be sold, built and sold. The production will start in the middle of 2025, and they'll be delivered soon after. And you could order them in the fall or in the winter of 2024, just in a few weeks' time. But this is a cool feature, and I can show you when I'm driving some of the features. But this line, you could see it, I can kind of control it up or down, and it's basically supposed to mark the end of the trailer. So if I kind of push this button, everything is integrated into my control system for my mirrors and my locks. And I have red light, red line, yellow line, and green line, basically for the length of my trailer. So let me show you how it works while we're moving.
So, let me tell you a little bit about this truck.
By the way, I'm Andre.
Andre, Jim Martin.
Nice to meet you.
So, focus of this truck today, Gen 5 Cascadia, and because we reset the, had an ignition cycle,
Yeah.
what you'll have to do is reset the end of trailer line from AirCam.
This is really cool.
To do that,
I can use my switches here.
Exactly.
I was talking to Miranda about this.
That's right.
So it's all integrated, all in one.
It's all integrated. There's no more separate control panel. It's all integrated, so you can switch between mirror and physical mirror and digital mirror.
Okay.
So when you hit the mirror cam button, you just confirmed the distance line.
No.
Which is okay.
Okay.
Which is okay because we haven't changed trailers.
So, and I'm a little cockeyed now, right? So,
Yeah, but
I can kind of see in my mirror And the red line means kind of the end of the trailer, right?
The red line is end of trailer.
Okay.
So that's a ground plane parallel to like the ICC bar, the back of the trailer.
Yes.
The yellow line is 30 meters beyond that. The green line is 50 meters beyond the red line.
Okay. And also the sun is helping us with the shadow.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, perfect
Yeah,
day. Perfect
okay.
time of day.
Okay.
So, you know, the reason we have that there is just to aid the driver for that depth perception, right? So that you know the orientation of vehicles around you. And, you know, for example, if you've got a vehicle coming up between the green and yellow line, you know, you can consider how far back that vehicle is and is it actually safe to change lanes, as an example. When we get up here a little bit further, we're actually going to go through a tunnel, and that's going to be able to show you the automatic adjustment that MirrorCam does between day mode and night mode. You know, because that's really one of the game changers about MirrorCam is being able to have a really crisp, clear image on a day that's not a beautiful sunny day,
Yeah.
right? So it really shines in poor weather, rain, snow, dark. That's really the game changer for a technology like that, is to be able to give the driver a sense of comfort and confidence with the environment around them.
And you would only get this, I mean, obviously this comes as a package. There's an exterior arms that hold the cameras, right?
Correct, yep.
There's interior screens and all the technology that's integrated together,
That's
right?
right.
If you didn't get that high wing camera, you wouldn't have any of this.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. And then there's also the center-mounted look-down camera as
Yeah,
well.
I see it right here.
That's looking at the front right of the vehicle, so that kind of replaces that look-down camera view that's normally above the passenger side door. After this overpass, we're going to exit to the left. See, now we're in the tunnel. You can see the infrared turned on, so you can see the environment around the trailer and around the vehicle. And then when we come out, we get more ambient light. Then
automatically adjusts?
It'll adjust back to day mode.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate system would be if you also had a camera on the back of your trailer, right? But drivers change trailers all the time,
Exactly.
right? And length of trailers change all the time.
Exactly.
So I think that's to be continued. This story is to be continued.
That's a good way of putting it. Yep.
All right,
So now,
let me-
yeah, so you can back up parallel or between the cones, and then what I would ask you to do is trust the red line and stop when the red line is at the base of the cone, so the black base of the cone.
At the base of the cone.
At the base of the cone.
And can we get out and see
Yep,
what that
absolutely.
means?
That's what we'll do. Yep.
Okay. Okay, straightening out, getting back to the base of the cone, and there.
There you go.
We're kind of at the base of the cone.
Let's go ahead and put it in neutral. Set the park brake. and
What if
let's-
I don't? Wouldn't
So
it-
if you put it, okay, let's test the rollaway feature.
okay.
So you're in neutral, open the door. See,
there, it did it.
automatically sets.
Okay.
So now you have an audible tone, and what we're telling the driver to do is set the park brake. There you go, and that'll turn the tone off. We're trying to train the driver that, hey, you forgot to actuate the park brake.
You got to do something else to fix it.
We don't
right?
want to teach people to set the park brake by opening the door. We want to teach them to use the buttons correctly.
Gotcha. That is pretty darn close, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is really close. I mean, you're definitely within the vicinity, and as you backed in to that cone, you know, the equivalent is backing into a dock.
Yes, exactly.
You knew where it was. You knew where to start slowing down.
And I was
So-
very precise with my brake, right? So I
Exactly.
can adjust that.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's a really cool feature, and it's amazing how that camera actually has the depth perception, you know, and kind of is helping out. So if you think of the semi-truck as a bestseller in its class, and you can compare it to kind of like a Ford F-150 or maybe a Chevy Silverado 1500, or if it was a mid-size truck, it might be like a Toyota Tacoma. You try to make small incremental changes if it's already working for you, right? So I hope you can see they attacked aerodynamics on this new generation of the truck, improved it by about 1.9%. Safety is a huge thing, right? So you could see a lot of safety improvement, automation, the way the headlamps work, the way the camera systems work, the way it connects to the headquarters and the fleet operator and the fleet manager. All those little things add up. And Freightliner tells me they have close communication to many of their customers. They have a customer council. And that's a really cool thing because the number of people making purchase decisions on these trucks, there are not very many of these people. And Freightliner and Western Star, we have a Western Star truck coming by here. They can be close to their customers and their drivers and the fleet operators to ask them what's going on. So they attack that, and of course profitability, right? All those things add up. Slightly better efficiency, ease of maintenance, safety, they all add up to profitability. So small changes, but I think this truck looks new, different. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It will start production in the middle of 2025. If you're wondering about pricing, if you want to buy one of these trucks, Freightliner has not published pricing yet, but that's kind of a difficult question for one of these trucks because if a fleet manager buys 100 of these, pricing may be different than if you bought one of them, right? So we'll have to wait and see. I expect pricing to go up a little bit because you're adding more technology into this truck. So of course price will go up a little bit due to that. But I was told by some of the other people here at this event that if you are a large fleet operator, you would probably add all the features, all the camera stuff, all of the remote monitoring things, because you want to have ultimate control and safety for the driver inside the vehicle and also the public around the vehicle, and of course your profitability for the company. So I hope you like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time at ultfl.com.